Well, let's discuss this a little bit further as the Ravens put together their probably best performance of the season yesterday in that 24-0 win over the Bengals. Joining us now, of course, Super Bowl 35 champion. And a man you see on WJZ 13's coverage. Some of us in town actually know how to pronounce his name. I don't want to go too far into that conversation, but he is our buddy Qadry Ismail, and he's back with us now here on GCR. What's going on, dude? How are you?
Man, I never knew that I could be introduced to the fans at M&T Bank Stadium and get my name butchered so badly.
I look, man. I don't really want to spend an hour on it. It infuriated me. Like it infuriates me.
Yeah, I don't think maybe I have and I just don't remember. And I'm not trying to say that to big league the guy, but I don't think I've met that particular announcer.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've known Bruce Cunningham all my life, and Bruce would nail my name, Qadry Ismail, like all the time. And I was like, wow, somebody can actually say it. So I just assumed that, I was the legend of the game for the Panthers game. And sure enough, I thought, all right, Qadry Ismail, oh, okay, you said it well. Okay, good. Everything is good. And then, I get introduced. They jack up the video. I guess, I don't know what they did. I'm not even going to make an excuse for them. They just jacked me up. So I'm like, as opposed to going out there and, me celebrating with the crowd our achievements, we wound up getting me like, boop, they skirted me off the video and then butchered my name. So I was like, well, okay, yeah. Talk about unprofessional.
At least you're not, a hero of this organization and someone who is, devoted their entire time and their life to this community. At least you're not that. At least that. Oh, that's right. That's exactly. Well, other than all that. Hey, man, we've talked a lot this season, and there's been a lot of I've heard mother of pearl from you a lot in discussing the Ravens this year, and I think a lot of us were right on the cusp of believing that maybe this really was going to go seriously the wrong way down the stretch. What do you make of what happened yesterday? Was it, this is the NFL, goofy things can happen in 1 week? Was it maybe the moment that we'll look back on and say, boy, did things turn in a major way in this one particular game?
Well, I am the type of player to be glass half full and hope for the best. And then there's some realism that gets sprinkled in there. I think the glass half full is, hey, I appreciated the resolve that the fellas had of saying enough is enough. We didn't play our best on Thanksgiving. We know that we turned the ball over. We know that we gave up a lot of plays defensively as well. And collectively, as a team, we didn't play any level of complimentary football. Let's go out there and do better. We're going to work to do better in practice, and it's going to show up in the game. And I think that's what was this game. Now, how do you grow on it? How do you say, okay, if you look at the Patriots, if you look at the Bills, if you look at the Chargers, if you look at the Broncos, heck, you can even look at the Jacksonville Jaguars. You're looking at teams that you're potentially going to be playing. Look at the Texans, who beat us, and yet they still were left for dead, but they somehow found a way. All these teams, we know that we put ourselves in this position of just being 500. We know that we've not played the greatest football in recent weeks, but if we can grow off of this performance and get ourselves back in the conversation of the upper tier teams, then let us go out there and do it. I think that's going to be the challenge for them.
Do you believe, like obviously they got Tavius Robinson back yesterday. They got our Darius Washington back yesterday. I know the Bengals' offensive line isn't great, but I mean, they were all over Joe Burrow. Is Tavius Robinson that significant of a difference maker that was the story after they, couldn't generate any pressure a week before against Aaron Rodgers? What do you make of how that happens?
Well, I mean, you say it in such a way like, oh my God. But I think part of the flow is you got your dudes. You got, all hands on deck. You got guys that can rotate in there. You got guys that are going to know their assignments. You got, talent. Obviously Tavius is a talented player. Now, yeah, when he was out there and they collectively weren't playing all that great, that's one thing. But I know one thing: you get motivated to get back out there, to reestablish yourself. There's that extra motivation. He clearly had it. They clearly fed off of it, and it was good. It was a good performance by a team that couldn't generate pressure just a few weeks before. So that, to me, is a level and a sign of growth.
The comments from Marlon Humphrey after the game yesterday, where he was talking about the impact of Ed Reed's visit, and we always laugh about things like earlier this year when Lamar Jackson had the ping pong tables removed. We always make jokes about this stuff, right? Like, when a team's struggling, get rid of ping pong tables, right? Like, we always do this, but I just want to get an athlete's perspective, and knowing how much you care about the human body, I really am interested in your thoughts on Ed Reed telling the Ravens to get the snacks out of the meeting rooms, and Marlon Humphrey feeling like unprovoked, like he needed to bring that up yesterday. And should we laugh about it and say, hey, that probably has nothing to do with what happened yesterday? Or is there some part of that resonates with you? Like, yeah, why are we doing snacks in meeting rooms?
Honestly, when it comes to the details of winning, leave no stone unturned. And I'll remember vividly for the rest of my life walking through the hallways. I am part of the Ravens broadcast team doing the games where my name was never mispronounced. Thank you, Jerry Sandusky. And literally, Art Jones, rest in peace, fellow Syracuse Orangeman, he and I walking down the hall. I was obviously observing some of the details of the game, and I was like, hey, Art, like, bruh, you've been balling lately. Like, what's been the turnaround? He goes, man, Ed Reed, he just told me, hey, man, you need to play better. And that was all it took for him to recognize, oh, shoot, Ed Reed is looking at me. I got to play better. The art of winning, the art of excellence, it comes in different forms. You have to embrace it, and so you can live and exceed into the excellence that you were destined to be in. So let that sink in a little bit as we remove the snacks.
Man, I'm listening. Now you're also selling me on the idea that, like, I know we joke about the idea of putting Ed Reed on the coaching staff, but man, if I'm the Ravens, if this is the impact that the presence of Ed Reed has, I give him some sort of job. Chief of staff, I don't know what it might be, man. Just have him in the building to be there and offering insights. Be a consultant or something, right?
Well, yeah, that sounds good in theory, but you also have a thing called jealousy, and you also have a thing called protecting your own turf. People, the laws of power, people don't want to be upstaged. So that is always ever present, including when you have people who, conspiracy theories why your name is mispronounced. So go ahead.
Qadry Ismail is with us here on GCR. Qadry, Lamar said after the game that he had tried telling everybody that he felt better during the week, and I think we as media members have been kind of dismissive of the answers that he's been giving to those questions because he's been so dodgy about them for a few weeks. I think starting in the second half of the Steelers game, he has looked better. He's looked more interested. The run that started that first touchdown drive was kind of vintage Lamar Jackson. Look, the offense still isn't fully clicking, right? They scored 17 points against a really bad Bengals defense, but are you starting to see signs that make you think it's possible that we're still going to see the best version of Lamar Jackson down the stretch here?
I could see that, and that's fair because of him, missing different practices, coming out there, not looking as sharp, obviously not being able to sling the ball into the end zone like he would want to. But then the other side of it is there are some of the players who They too have had their issues with holding on to the ball and making good decisions, or just referees not being on the same page. So I think all of that kind of comes into play. But with regards to Lamar's legs, yeah, I thought he looked, kind of had a little bounce to his giddy up. Will it be sustained? I hope so. They're going to need it to be, especially going up against a defense like what we saw in the Patriots game. I know that, Josh Allen pretty much wills his team to win. And I think that's something that, falls on the shoulders of your franchise quarterback. That's the ultimate dual threat quarterback.
Yeah. What do you make? There were some plays that were left on the field yesterday, Qadry. Some balls that obviously either could have or should have been caught. And, Zay Flowers is a pretty good game, but imagine the game he could have had with some of the balls that were there. I just want to get your explanation, the unbelievable cold they were dealing with. I don't want to make it an excuse, but is that an explanation? Or would you still say, nah, that doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter if that ball feels like a rock. Like, you're in the NFL, you have to catch those balls if you're going to win. I mean, they're going to be playing freezing cold. They got primetime games the next 2 weeks, including one in Green Bay where the game time temperature might be -20, right? Like, how do you handle the cold and catching the football like that?
Well, I mean, you first got to go in there with the mindset of knowing that, hey, this is going to be what it's going to be. You, in the week of practice, just you mentally have to draw the line in the sand and just know that that's going to be a stiff ball. It's not going to be the nice catchable, right into your hands. We call it, like when we were in Minnesota with the Vikings, I remember Brian Billick, former Ravens head coach, but he was also our offensive coordinator in Minnesota, and he would take our receiving core over to the judge machine, and it would be cranked up to 50 miles an hour. But even though we were indoors, the doors of the indoor facility was open. Therefore, it was an ice box. And so it was always Arctic degrees inside, and we would be catching the ball off the jugs. But it got you so used to, like, all right, this is just a hard ball. This is what it is. And so if you don't do that to kind of toughen your mind to the fact that it's going to be a hard ball, and you just got to just hold your water, your mental mindset just for that extra second, because you know you need to really look it in, well, then you're going to drop it. If you can do that, then you'll be a hero, and you'll be Plaxico Burress in the New York Giants, Green Bay, the NFC champion, or no, NFC championship game, excuse me, and you'll be able to make those hard catches look easy.
Qadry, one more. Obviously, the bad news, Teddy Buchanan, who had been playing really well, looks like his season is over. Trenton Simpson looked pretty good again yesterday, which is, it's a weird spot because he had seemed comfortable playing kind of that hybrid and playing a little more outside. He looked pretty good yesterday, but is the answer to that Trenton Simpson, or is the answer now with both, with Ardarius Washington back and Alohi Gilman, that maybe it's once again, in case of emergency, break glass and just have Kyle Hamilton play some more linebacker moving forward?
Oh, it's going to happen. I mean, shoot, I wouldn't put all my eggs on Trenton Simpson. I think that, some of the things that he can do, they found that works best for him. I would keep him in that lane, and then at the same time utilize other guys that are more able to handle the load, similar to what you're saying with Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah, I think, look, man, there's nothing. I don't doubt that guy can do anything at all. Qadry, you want to remind everybody about missile training?
Well, it's missile training. That means that you spell it with 2-letter I's as missile, and then training. Training has I's in it too.
It does.
MissileTraining.com. And you can interact with me over on MissileTraining.com if you're looking for human movement and sports performance training. And you can just call me Coach Q. So unlike the Ravens PA announcer who says different guys' names that are extremely hard and difficult to pronounce, my name is Qadry Ismail. Very easy. Not a lot of syllables. Boom, Qadry. That's it. Ismail. Boom, done. MentalTraining.com. Check me out on there. Your movement, sports performance training, Coach Q. That's it.
A reminder, you can also follow him on Twitter. I believe it's at is it Qadry Ismail? Is that, do I have that correct, sir? Is that?
You are in the ballpark. You are in the ballpark.
At Qadry Ismail is how you follow him. Brother, love you. Happy holidays to you and your family. Always appreciate you, man. Thanks for hopping on this morning.
Appreciate you, brother.
That's my guy.